Great to see you all coming on. So remember, you can always leave a comment, any of your questions along. But today, our amazing legendary Gustavo Mendes will be taking us through a quick guide of Loki 2.1, talking about some of the new updates that we've been working on and showing how you can use it to make your work incredible and actually just speed up everything in general. So
Yes.
without further ado, and I'll stop rambling, over to you, Gus.
Thank you. So I'm Gustavo Manager, the product manager. Gustavo Mendes. I'm the product manager at Filmworkz, and today we're going to be talking about Loki 2. And the idea of Loki 2 is to make your image enhancement easier, and you can do it in batch processing as well. And it uses all of our technology related to our DVO, so the plugins that do all the restoration and image enhancement in a very easy interface, and it's very simple to use. So I'm going to show you a little bit of the interface here. So sorry, I'm going to be showing the side of my face because I'm using another screen. So
That's a good angle.
Exactly. So I shaved at least. So guys, what we have here is the main interface. This is all web browser based, and it uses the similar code from the code in Phoenix. So all the technology in terms of transcoding and the DVOs are there. So we have a viewer, we have a section down here that can be easily changed in size, with a preview, skewed, completed, a bunch of sections there. And here on the left side, we have presets that you can create, the DVOs where we can apply them, and we also have our queue as well. So let me just make sure here that my DVOs, give me 1 second. I'm just gonna open it in the background here. Just gonna stop it and run because my license wasn't happy about it for some reason.
It wouldn't be a demo without some technical difficulty.
Oh, you're kidding me. And this because I opened and tested like 5 minutes ago. But it happens. It happens. So this is the initial concept of the software. So very simple to use, all web-based. And we're just going to give it a moment here so I can get it to load. And we're going to import some footage and make sure that everything's good to go. So I think we're probably at the stage where I can probably do an initial import. So to import some footage, we just click on our import button. Let me see if it's going to let me do it right now. Oh, you see, now we load it. So import some footage. Gonna find here something very easy to see since we're on doing this with compression from the internet. Let's look at something with a lot of noise. So here we can take a look at the footage, and what you can see right off the bat, viewer is very easy to zoom in and out. You can check the detail. You can do a one-to-one. You can do a fit. You can zoom in and out with the scroll wheel, and you can move it around. And what we're going to do is initially, you can click on different points of the timeline. But let's say I want to create a preview here. So what we can do is we can change from bitrate to CRF index in terms of quality of your preview, because we do everything H.264, so we place back inside the web browser. And I'm going to change this to 50 frames. So we can see here, top section, that our source is 1080p 25, so we're going to keep as 50 for 2 seconds. I'm going to click on preview. And what's going to do is it's going to create an H.264 preview, so we can play it back here. So initially, we'll show you a dual view since we don't have any DVOs applied. I'm going to go to full screen, and I can move this easily and close the left section of the interface to get a better view, and I can play back. And as we can see, we have a lot of issues, not only with noise, but a little bit of flicker as well. And this was a footage testing from ISO of a specific camera. So what we're going to do is I'm going to do a fit again. I'm going to open here to the side, and I'm going to apply an initial DVO. So let's click on Velvet. So Velvet, what it does is it deals with high quantities of noise. It's different from Clarity, which is more about grain management. Velvet's about getting digital noise and Super 8 noise, for example, completely removed. And from there, after you remove that noise, you can start adding some sharpening and adding some texture with regrain RGB, for example, to get some detail and texture back. So I'm going to apply this with some strong settings initially, so I'm not going to change it too much, but to change the settings, just click on Velvet, and you can see all the DVO settings right there. I'm going to tell it to preview. this file. So let's see here. And right now I'm only using my desktop as a node, but I'm going to show that when we're doing, we can also use multiple computers with nodes installed to get previews. So now I just got the result. Again, I'm just going to move this down. And as you can see, this is already much, much cleaner. And how we can compare it, we're going to click here and do a split view. And I think this can show you quite a lot of the difference. It gives you the impression that we lost some detail, but actually we just lost the noise. It was giving you the impression of the texture. So from here, we can start working on adding some more texture to the footage. So for example, let's go here and apply first DVO sharpen. And along with that, I'm going to go here to my essential spec, and I'm going to apply DVO regrain RGB. And again, sharpen, we can use it to sharpen, regrain RGB, we can add a texture back into the footage. So I'm going to do some strong settings here for sharpen right now. And I'm going to go for low detail sharpen. I'm going to close it. I can do regrain RGB. Again, I'm going to go for something more exaggerated so we can see the result. I'm going to close it. And if you want to change the order of these, you can just click on the arrows and you move up and down. So you change the order of processing. So I'm going to keep the denoise first, sharpen it, and then put grain so we don't sharpen the grain. And I'm going to click on preview again. And now we're, of course, takes a little bit longer because we're processing 3 DVOs at the same time. And what happens here is, if I zoom in again, you're going to see that we now have a different texture that is not as noisy. So it doesn't have that much of the color and the issues with the ISO for the sensor, with a much, much nicer texture. And I can also do a dual here. And we can also play back the footage. And you're going to notice the velvet. In this case, since there was a little bit of an issue here with the noise and just flickering a bit, since we removed it, you can also see the velvet without even applying a deflicker tool that we also have. We actually cleaned up that flicker coming from the noise of the sensor as well. So this looks significantly better. Now, if I'm happy with this result, we can jump into the export settings. Here in the export settings, I can keep my name. I can choose a folder where I'm going to render this to. So let's go to my K drive. I'm going to go to my test folder. I already had the test that I did before. So I'm just going to select it, but I could create a folder there as well if I wanted to. I want to keep all the settings the same. So this is following the source as we read the metadata, but I could create a custom time code. I could set up a custom in and out if that was my wish, change resolution, frame rate. So everything can be done from here. And of course, we're fully compatible with ProRes from Apple. So here I'm going to use a ProRes LT to get a result. I don't need any audio channels. And from here, I can click on export. Actually, let me just change this name just to make it easier so we can see that this is different. So this is the clean dog. I'm going to click on export here again, just make sure. So name is updated. I'm going to click on submit. And when I click on queue, you're going to see that we're now rendering that file. So we just need to wait a little bit so the engine can start in the background. And if I open here a Windows Explorer, we can go to my test folder, and I'm just going to wait here for a moment, and it's going to show up right there. And here we can see that starts processing. We can see the bar moving. And actually, if you wanted to load something else while this is rendering, you can. You could just click on import and bring another file in. It pauses and resumes automatically as soon as you see there's an idle moment either within the processors or the nodes they're using at the same time. So with this in mind, I'm actually even going to start my node on my other computer while it's doing that. So we can take a look at multiple nodes working as well. So this file is about to finish. And we can see here which node is being used. So now that this is done, I'm just going to open it very quickly so we can see the result. I'm going to open here with switch. And as you can see, we're keeping the original time code, frame rate, everything else is exactly the same as the original, but now we have a 10-bit ProRes. And if I play back the file, you can quickly see the results. I'm going to go here full screen. And we have a file that's completely cleaned up with the sharpening and the new texture. So very, very easy to use. It makes it very simple for you to load some files, get some settings, and just get it done. And if you want to use this several times, you can just come here, keep all the settings there. I'm going to say that I want to save a preset. I'm going to call this cleanup 2. I'm going to save it. And now if I look it up here under presets, cleanup 2 has just been saved. Oh, this is great and very easy to use. Now, let's say that you want to batch process a significant amount of files. So I'm going to show you here an example. So I have a folder that I have set up here with a lot of files. So for example, if you look here on my text mix, we have a combination of files here in this Audi folder. And there's quite a lot of DPXs, there's folders within folders. And this could be a combination of QuickTime files along with DPXs or EXRs, doesn't really matter, we can read them. And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to use that to do a watch folder. And what are watch folders? They're just automatic folders where as soon as we enable it, it will follow a preset and will render those files to specific folders using a specific configuration. So in this case, what I'm going to do is, instead of using this Pro as Mix, I'm going to go to this Audi Convert. And what I did was I said that where my folder was, where I want the files to be rendered to, where I want the completed files to be moved, and the failed files to also be moved. And here it's appending a name to the end, say calling it clean. And we're going to use here, I'm going to change this to a ProRes watch folder. So for basically a preset, just gonna update that real quick. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click on enable. And the moment I do that, now that I have 2 computers, what it's gonna do is it's gonna distribute these renders to whatever computers it sees available. So right here, you can see that it populated it automatically. And now it's just starting to look into those computers and sending jobs in parallel. And the advantage is if you have a lot of computers in your network, you can just open the node there and they will be added, and you can see the list not only right here, but you can also see the nodes connected section. I'm sorry that I'm not clicking there because my IP is there. So I'm not doing it for security reasons. But yeah, you can see a list of the nodes. You can set up the configuration about how many threads you want to use. You need to be sure that all the computers see the same folders in the same computer, so they share media and things like that. And they will basically process things in the background. So as you can see here, this is running. And when I go to my test drive and I decide to look at my test renders and the output folder, you can see here that for my Audi clean, it's following the same folder structure that existed. We are using the name of the original file. I forgot to add a dot, so it's putting the sequence number right after clean. So that was my mistake. And if I open this here real quick, I can go open again on switch. And here we have original time code, original resolution as a ProRes file. And we have the result. And you can send this, for example, to a tutorial to start working on the file while you can do another cleanup or any other type of batch processing in the background. And I believe that's it. That's a rendering here in the background. But yeah, that's an easy, quick demonstration of the Loki functionality. And at the moment, you can use it with multiple nodes, but we're introducing a feature very soon where you can actually use the GUI on multiple computers as well, accessing just one server. So that's going to be added in the coming months as a new feature as well.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Gus, for sharing that. I mean, looks like you could just get that sorted and then have a cup of tea and do what you want in the meantime.
Exactly.
Yeah, easy. So yeah, for everyone, if you've got any questions, just feel to leave a comment. I've got one question, and it's a bit of a loaded one. But how does Loki differ from Cinedex Connect, for instance? How is that sort of different to what they do?
It's an interesting question because Connex and Cinedeck are partners, but Connex, what it does is it's a workflow automation system. So from there, you not only can get files, use RDVOs to do certain cleanups, frame rate conversions, and things like that, but you can also do change audio routing. You can put different audio, swap things. You can change codec. So there's a much bigger functionality to adapt to certain types of delivery specs. And so it's different because all we're doing right now is batch processing. So our goal is if you need to do that image enhancement very quickly or just convert some files very quickly, we can do that. But again, we don't automate to the point or final delivery, for example, like Connex does.
Right. So is there a limit on the number of DVOs you can use on a clip, or is it kind of just do what you want sort of thing?
As many as you want, So for example, on a very specific clip here, we can probably, actually, I can show you something. Let me cancel this guy here real quick. So I'm just clicking on cancel all, just gonna finish those two that are running in the background. While it does that, let me delete all of these and let me import a file that we have been using for a while.
Do you want to
People
share
have seen
screen
our
again?
demos. Yes, let me just do it here. Let me present my main screen. So there's a file that we use quite a bit, and I think it's a good example of what we can do. So for example, for cross-color here, there's this old spitting image clip that I hear that for the British, this makes complete sense. I have no idea what's going on, but I assume everything. I assume you guys know what's happening. So what I can do is this clip, if we look into it, you have several issues from cross-color problems. So if I zoom in, you're going to see that here, there's a lot of problems with color there. There's noise, there's interlacing. So let's do this real quick. What we can do is I'm going to apply here to start off from the video pack. Where is my... Give me 1 second. So we have... For some reason, my packs are little. Oh, yeah, because the okay. So let me do something here that will make sense. Oh, actually, instead, I think this other file will make sense. So just so you guys can see as well, quick change, and I can just bring another file in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply chroma to fix these issues that we have right there. So actually, where is my... Yeah, so let me do chroma here real quick. I'm also going to do something else. So this is a standard definition file. So I'm going to apply. Where is my... Yeah, print line. Yeah, let me do that. I'm going to apply a little bit of sharpen as well right after it. And I'm going to apply a little bit of clarity. And with these here in mind, we can actually just see real quick the results. So chroma, I'm just going to raise it a little bit with the coarseness of 2. I am going to get sharpen same level. And I'm going to get clarity same way. And let's do a quick preview. And this is 29. So I'm going to change this to 60 frames. Just going to do a quick render. And if we compare, you can see that right off the bat, we can get some really good results removing some of the issues that you normally see with the cross-color. So we can see right here, the halogen, that we can remove some of the text, the issues that the text might have. We can clean up and remove basically a lot of the noise that was happening here as well. So there's a lot of things that you can do. And I mean, you can apply as many DVOs as you want. And from here, you could also do a frame rate conversion. You can also do a upscaling that we have some great tools as well. It's too hard for us to show with the compression issues here. But yeah, I mean, you can use as many DVOs as you want. You use dry clean to clean up film footage that you have right off the bat. Automate that. And if you have a specific reason to manually clean up, you can just get those files and send them to Phoenix, for example. So yeah, you can use as many DVOs as you would like.
Well, that's kind of a good lead into Richard's question, who's asking what's the main difference between Loki and Phoenix, and also what are the dust removal options in Loki?
So the difference between Loki and Phoenix is that Phoenix, you can do manual work, keyframing, and you can change a lot of the settings related to the files. Loki is far more about bringing something in and just doing one specific setting, but you cannot do any manual work. So you can set up your DVOs the way you want and change all the parameters, make sure everything is the way you like, but you're not going to do manual cleanup. And in terms of what tools that we have Dust GT, we have Dry Clean, and those are the main ones for cleanup right now. And Dry Clean, it's been used for several shows, and a lot of our customers right now absolutely love it. We're very precise about the way that we clean dust, blemishes and things like that. So those are the main tools that you can use within Loki.
Yeah, fair enough. And I think, all the DVOs that we have are available on Loki. Or there are fewer of them missing out on some.
Yeah, so basically DVOs that need manual intervention, depending on the type of manual interventions, are not there. So for example, DVO fix is not there because that does need manual intervention for you to draw cleanups within the image. That you would need Phoenix. But for example, DVO pixel, that we offer an option in Phoenix for you to clean up pixels by hand. That functionality is not here, but you can actually still use the DVO pixel and automatically find dead and stuck pixels. And same thing that you can do for scratch target, where you would be able to find scratches, vertical scratches automatically, but you do not have the option to paint them or select regions manually. So some DVOs are not here because they require manual intervention. Some of them might have a somewhat different functionality because we had to remove the manual intervention section of it.
Right, to make it all automated and
exactly
easy.
Yeah, I mean, as we say, the presets, the default values are normally really good for the vast majority of problems you're going to have, but all the parameters are there. So this offers you quite a lot of functionality, even compared to Phoenix. So if all you do in Phoenix is just to automate processing, so you have a large number of clips that just need dry clean, instead of going to Phoenix, you can basically go to here to Loki 2, open the file, you can use the viewer, and you can change your CRF, for example, to a much higher value. So it gives a really high quality H.264 here in the preview. So you can see noise and everything else very well. Apply your DVOs, apply your settings, click on preview, make sure everything is okay, and batch process that, without having to worry about opening Phoenix, having to deal with a lot of setting up projects and things like that. Here, you can just use a preset using same as source. We'll keep the name of the files the same, so everything is much easier.
Brilliant. Well, I hope that answers your question, Richard. But it looks like there's not many other questions left. So again, I want to say thanks, Gus, for running through that. I've learned a hell of a lot already, and it's quite an easy platform to use. So fantastic there. But thank you so much for jumping on. And for everyone else, have a lovely rest of your Friday. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll see you all next time.
Yeah, thank you very much. Have a good weekend, guys.